Hey, Alan.
Hi.
How's it going?
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah,
How about
finally
you?
the weather's getting nice. Finally.
Oh, yeah. I think it's next week. It's going to really start getting hot, though.
Oh, okay. I won't be here, so it's okay. I'm in
Thanks.
Mexico.
Oh, wow, beautiful.
I'm gonna visit my hubcaps.
Yeah, that's Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's right. No.
Yeah,
Stole the
you're on
joke.
yeah.
The
Yeah,
people don't have hubcaps. There's no hubcaps anymore.
What is it? Oh, yeah, it's just.
There's no
I guess
hubcaps.
it's
You
no
know what I saw
hubcaps.
in a car? What I saw in a car this week. I haven't seen in years. White wall tires.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I saw a car with white wall tires. I mean, that used to be like a big deal.
I know. Yeah. Right. Wow.
Yeah, it looked really odd. I'm looking.
Wow. Must be an old car then, huh? Or was it a new
No,
car?
it was a newer car, but
Yeah.
it was some Hispanic guy. So he
Oh.
he did a whole bunch of detailing to it. So he added
Oh,
white
okay.
wall
Yeah.
tires. It looked really
Okay.
cool, you know.
Yeah.
They spend a
Yeah.
lot of money on their cars. They love their
Oh,
cars.
yeah. Does it go up and down too? They probably have these.
I went to a some kind of festival once, and they
Yeah.
had a parade of those cars.
Oh,
It was like ridiculous.
it's so funny. It's
We're
so
learning
funny.
Gomorrah, and they're making their cars go up and down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we're inventing cures for cancer, and they're
Yeah,
tattooing
right.
themselves.
Yeah. I saw a funny cartoon. These old lady and husband and wife, they're sleeping in the bed, and she says to her husband, I had a dream last night that I was at Walmart shopping. So he says, I had a dream too. I was with three women. He says, was I one of them? He says, no, you were at Walmart shopping.
That's good. That's a good joke.
Somebody sent me a cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw your daughters last night at the concert, the Beach
Oh,
Boys.
yeah. They went. Yeah. My two daughters. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
was
sold
9
out.
It was sold out. So
Sold out.
I saw the from the roof of my house.
The fireworks.
The porch. Here was good. And then I was watching the Macy. That was amazing. That was probably the best in the world.
Oh, yeah, the Hollywood Bowl was very nice. It was very good. It was about almost like 12, 13 minutes long.
Oh, my daughter sent that to me also at the end. She sent me it looked very nice. Yeah.
It kind of got cheated because there's only two of the Beach Boys were there. They don't get along. There's a fight between Brian Wilson. There's a whole to do. Anyway, it was good. It was good.
That's good. Okay. It's good. Night out. That's all that counts.
Yes.
Night out. Yeah.
It was a fabulous. It was very nice.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, those fireworks were beautiful. Wow.
Yeah.
The fireworks were fabulous.
Yeah.
And they were good too, let me tell you.
Yeah, they were good. I mean, yeah.
These songs are just like classic kind of, right? Just nice to listen to.
But tomorrow's a real long fast. 4:00 in the morning, I think, is a Sunday fast start.
4:16, the fast starts.
Yeah, it's a long one.
It's like a full fast, and it finishes at 8:40.
Right. Yeah. So it's a long fast.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Alos is 4:16.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Yep.
Okay, we're on Nun Amid Aleph. Itmar Arev Diksuba Divra Kol Lo Mishtabe. If you're a co-signer for a ksuba, they can't go directly to him to pay. And he's not mishubid completely, but kablan de balchay, Divra Kol Mishtabe. Now, if you're an Arev kablan of a creditor, he can go directly to him. But a regular Arev, not an Arev kablan of a balchay, an Arev kablan ksuba plea. Iklam under Rafa Gav de Leslie in the Kosai, Lalova, Mishtabit. Some say that even though the borrower doesn't have assets, the Arev is Mishtabit. Iklam under he is lay Mishtabit, Leslie lo Mishtabit. That if the Lova has assets, the Arev is Mishabed, and if he doesn't have assets, he's not. The Hilchos of Bekula Ava Gav de Leslie Mishtabit. if the borrower doesn't have a regular Orev is Mishtabit, Bar me Orev Shal Ksuba, the Avagav, the Islay, even though the husband has Nechasim, when he writes the Ksuba, Lo Mishtabit. The Orev is not Meshubit. By timer. Mitzvah de Avid, because the Baal or the perhaps the Isha is not going to sign it unless the Orev is not going to agree unless the Orev does it. So he's performing a mitzvah. Number one. And Lomidi Chasra. It's not that the woman is borrowing money. She's not losing anything on which he has to be mishtabed. The Baal is not borrowing money from the Isha that he owes her that. So that's why Chachamim said that an Orev is not mishtabed.
Yeah, but he's lying to the woman. She's doing it. She's marrying on the basis that he's going to guarantee it, and here he says he doesn't have to pay it. I mean, it's he's cheating her.
An Orev Kablan is chayv to pay, but a regular Orev is not.
So, but even a regular Orev, it's false.
And the Ramah says that even a regular Orev is mishtabed
Oh,
if he makes a kinyan with her.
Uh-huh.
Ravina Toshma. That we know that a ksuba is paid from ziburis. Now, miikara de takantin. Why did they misakin ksuba from ziburis? We said masha ish isha. A woman wants to get married more than a man, so he doesn't have to offer her the best. He can get away with offering less. Now, Isak Gedaitach, that miyasmi, that it's only you collect from ziburis from Yisomim, and not from the husband. Remember, because Marzutra said that if the husband's alive, she gets from Baininus. So, Haimishum Diyasmihu. But that has nothing to do with the Isha. That has to do because Yisomim, we are lenient regarding them because that they don't have a father. So comes out that you have to, that even from a husband, you pay ziburis, tiyufta de marzutra, tiyufta. So we reject that which what Marzutra said. And the husband doesn't get from Baininus. I mean, the wife doesn't get from Baininus to a live husband, she only gets ziburis. Amar Marzutra, Beid Rav Nachman, Mishmei Rav Nachman, Shtarchov Hayotzel Yisoyim. The father owed money, and the lender presents a star to the Yisomim. Aval Bisha Kosev Bar Sheva, even though it says befeirush in the contract that the lender can collect from idis, eino gove element ziburis, because of the din of Yisomim. Amar by Teda, the Bachov din of Baininus, that a Bachov collects from Baininus, miyasmim ziburis. Even so, from Yisomim they only get ziburis. And Amar Abaya, excuse me. So Amar Le Rava Achi Ashta. How can you compare Bal Chayv Dine Midoraisa B'Ziburis? Really, in a Torah, a lender only gets from Ziburis. Kedivrei Ulam. Shomar Ulam V'Torah Bal Chayv B'Ziburis. And Amar B'Chutz Ta'amod. If at night you need your collateral back, you bring his pillow. The mashkon is going to be the worst of his kelim. So he's not entitled to anything more than ziburis, even by lamb. So why did the Chachamim change the halacha and say that a Balchav can collect from Bainis. Otherwise, people wouldn't lend money. Lenders wouldn't loan anybody money if all they could collect was an inferior piece of land.
In the let's say in the star, if it's written specifically that the father says you could, no matter what, you can collect from my idios, even if it's from Yisomim. If he specifies that, does that go against what the Torah says?
No. The
So yes,
Chachamim said that even though they wrote idis in the contract,
yeah.
you can only collect from Zibors. Because of the din of Yisomim.
But what about
even if it's written in the star?
But what about from the lender, for the borrower himself, but not the children? And if he wrote
Same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yasmi Ukmer Rabbanan Doraisa. But the Chachamim kept by Yisoimim, they didn't change to make it easier to raise it from Zibors to Beinanis. El Hacha, where they wrote a specific Tanai in the star that it should be Idis. Kiva the Dina Midoraisa be Idis. A star has Koyach Midoraisa, like you said. And they wrote it be Idis. Even so, Afilu Miyasmi Nami be Vafilu Miyasmi Nami be Idis. So here, because he specified in the star, the Gemara wants to argue that from the Yisum should also get Idis. So Rav of Hatani, Aram Chozaini for Minachosim in Zabel Minaziburis. Vafilohen Nizakim, even if it's a damage case, where normally a damager is paid by Idis, if the father did damage, they still only get Ziburis. Right? Vanizaki didn't mean the rice to be Idis. So just like over there where you say you wrote it in a star, so midaraisa should be Idis, how come it doesn't work by Nizak? By Skinon, so the case of Avram Chuzah, where we say that you get from Ziburis, it's the sheet of Rabbi Shmuel. We're talking about the specific case where the best field of the one who was damaged is like the inferior field of the mazik. So it's called Idis, but it's really Ziburis. Because it's Rabbi Shmuel. Because Midoraisa be'idid be'nizik shaminan. They took it all, they can Rabbanon shal mazik. However, Gabi Yasmi uk Rabbanon Doraisa. The Chachamim kept by Yisomim the din of Doraisa. And they paid from Ziburis only, which is like the Idis of the Nizik. But a regular case where we're not collecting from the Zakin, like a case of a shtarcha that you wrote in there from Idis, it might be that you collect Idis. It's not so, says the Gemara, Eini Vatani Rabbi Yezer Niso, Eini from Nichsum Eben Aziburs, Afilu Ein Idis. Now what does that mean? My Afilu Ein Idis. Lav Avagav Dechsiv B'Shtara, that even it's written in the star Idis, you only pay Ziburis. This is low. My Idis, Shpoi Idis, which means land that's even inferior than Ziburis. Like we learn in Rava. Shama Rava music is Ziburis. If he damaged Ziburis, you pay from Idis. If you damage even less, Shmoy Idis, go even not paying in this. Because Gabi Yasmi Uki Rabbana Doraisa. Where the din of a Balchav is Ziburis. Now, Chosh Mishpat says, Any from an Ichsa Yorshim, element of Ziburis, Afilu Hisnek Sav Bishtar, Shagoy Bein Nisoidis. Even if they wrote in the star, I want to collect Bein Idis, the Tanai doesn't help. If it's direct, not to the Yisomi, Avalim Kosav Bishtar, Sheyigve Bein Idis Menu, Moyal Tanai. So then he can collect, because it's not Yisomim. So it said in the Mishnah, in from Ziburis. Boy Rava Achad, boy Bar Ami. Yisomim Sa'imru Ktanim or Afilu Gdolim. When we say Yisomim, do we refer to minors only, or even adults that lost their father? Do we say Takanto David Rabbanon Gabi Yashmi Liktanim of the Rabbanon Likdolim Lo of Rabbanon? This takon is only for minors. Because the guide never thought, the thought of the malva, the mislo, that his lender's going to die, that his assets will fall from the Yosoimi. Davle Noel is Delis, because otherwise no one's going to loan money. The Iker takona that you're going to collect from Bainin is the regular cases, not like a lo shchicha. It's not that they made the takana regarding Yorshim as well. Hilkach, afilu gdolim nami. So it's not just a takana for minors; it's a takana for any heirs. So Torshmai, the Tanabai Kashisha, Yisomim sha'amru gdolim. It's any heir, even if you're an adult. You have to take a shvua if you're going to collect from Yisomim. Why? Because the Yisomim don't know the affairs of the father. Maybe the father paid the guy off. So before he collects, let's take a shvua that he hasn't been paid. So that which we said, that it works for Gedolim, that's by shvua. Because Godel b'mili davua kikotin dami. Even an adult son doesn't know what his father was up to. So he still has to take a shvua. Because maybe the father had paid it off in his lifetime. Avala inyan zibur is slow. But maybe the din of ziburis is only for ktanim. The hilchah saw Yisayim Shamar Gdoilim Vetzarach Lamatonim Ben L'Shvua Ben L'Zibur. The halacha is you collect from ziburis by Yisayim even for adults. And of course they have to take a shvua. Is Kenny here or George here? Who's the other person here? Who's next to Mario on an iPhone? Kenny? Who's this person? Don't know. Okay.
John is there.
It's not me.
Who's the iPhone on the bottom?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Okay.
Incognito.
Okay. Maybe
I
it's,
have an iPhone. I'm on an
maybe it's
iPhone.
my son-in-law.
Okay.
Okay. Any from the chasam shabbat b'makom sheyesh bnei chayrim. Person has cash. Person has land that he has sold off already. You don't go to the person who bought land from him unless there's no cash. That's the din. So boy ravach advoy baran. V'matona heich. What if the guy didn't sell it, but he gave it away to somebody else from maton? Do you do the same thing? That you can't go and get that piece of land from the guy it was gifted to, unless there's no cash? Do we say that kantu David Rabban Mishum say the lekuchos? Maybe we're trying to protect the person who bought the land. We don't want to necessarily take it away from him. He bought it. But there's no loss. Maybe low. Maybe you could go collect it directly from the person you gifted it to, because he didn't invest any money. Or he did nami.
I don't know why Miriam does stuff like that, you know?
What was that? That's George. George, did you ask a question?
Sorry.
No problem. Ava matona de lekap say the law. O dilma matadami ilav the islay. Hanomine, no, you have the matona. The guy's having hanoah from the gift. Hilchah keeps saying lekuchos dummy. So it's similar to maybe we don't want the guy to lose his hanoah, just like we don't want the lekuchos to lose out, and maybe we shouldn't collect it from them unless there's no cash. First on his deathbed. Normally, what he says is like you wrote it in the star. Sha'amar, Tnu Masai Zula Ploini. Give $200 to Ruvain. Shlosh Me'osh Laploni, $300 to Shimon. Varbim Laploni, $400 to Levi. In that order. Ein Oimrim, Kol HaKoidim Bishtar, Zacha. We don't say that Ruvain basically gets it first and Shimon gets it because he was mentioned earlier. Lefichach, Yotza Lov Shtar Chov, this a creditor comes to the Shchivmara and presents a loan document to be paid back. And it's clear that these assets that he gave away had a prior lien. So Goiva Mikula, he can go to Ruvain, Shimon, or Levi, there's no order. Even though he mentioned Ruvain, Shimon, Levi in a certain order. He didn't preference any of the gifts. But Avilam Amar Tnu Masai Mzula Ploni, Ve'achrav Laploni, Ve'achrav Laploni, then there's an order. First give to Ruvain, then Shimon, then Levi. Then we say Kol HaKodim B'Shtar Zacha, Lefichach Im Yotza Lov Shtar Chov Gove, that which is considered free and clear is the last one, to Levi, Min Achrav. And then in Ein Lo, if, let's say, gave him land worth 400, there's not enough, then he goes to Shimon, Goiva Mishlafon. Ein Lo, go for Shimon if he goes to Ruvain. The Afagav, the Kama Beinanis, Ubasra Ziburis. Now, a Balchov gets from Beinanis. So Levi got Ziburis, Shimon got Beinanis. Still, the guy can only collect Ziburis from the last one. Mi Ziburis got the Beinanis lo got. Shmamina, Shematon Nami of Rabbanon Takonta. So a Shchiv Marah giving is like a matana. And it's clear that there's no din of Mishubadit if there's Bnei Chayrin, even by a matana. So the Gemara says, perhaps no proof. Because Hachmaskinan, Bebalcha, we're not talking about a Shchiv Marah that's giving away things as a matana. He's a creditor. He owed money. And he said, pay back this guy, and this guy. How can you say he told him to pay back? The Brisa says, Tnu, give. It's Tnu b'choivi, given I owe it, so give it. Okay, if it's a bachol, lechsi shtar deman kodim. See whose is the earliest date. That determines whose rights are protected. So the Gemara answers the lekesh shtar. This was a malval peh. Wasn't documented with the shtar. So the Gemara says, how can you say there's no shtar? It says a shtar. So bishtar pakadita, which is like a tzavah. He just gave a command. So it's like an oral declaration. I could say that it is a matana. We're talking about it's a shchiv marah. And he still collects from the achron. V'lo kasha, how come the Balchov doesn't take from the earlier guy who had Beinanis? My goyve ben achron ein nifsad ela achron. He really gets the Beinanis. So the ones that, and the lands that remain, they divide up among the three of them, according to the Seder that the guy gave a command. Comes out that the Achron will always lose out. Iboy Sema, the Shavukul Adodi, that they were all equal in value. So there was no benefit to the Rishon or the Achron didn't make a difference. Then we said, Ein motzin lachilu peiros. If you don't pay from Mishubadim, if a Goslin stole a field and then they invested to make payros, the only part that you can collect from Mishubadim is the land itself, not the payros. My time, only the karka is written in the shtar, not the payros. The payros are considered like a malval pet. Public doesn't know about it. People who buy don't have to, it's no buyer beware. It's not like it's published in the LA Business Journal. The land is published, but not the payros. The fact that a wife and her daughters get paid, it's as if it's written in the ksuba. Even if it's not written, it's one of the Tanai ksuba. Everybody knows that. Yet it says, Ein motzian, you don't get from Nuchasim Shabbatim. Why not? That was the takana. When the takana of the Chachamim to give them mazain, it's kiksuvim en etzel b'nei chayru, vein ksuvim en etzel m'shabbat. They were only granted money from free and clear assets, not from land that had been sold off. V'chenem Rav Asher Rav Yochanan v'shen ksuvim. There's a Ravasi v'ha mazon ha'isha bonus t'kman d'ksivi doming. And yet it says uktani emotzim. Armelei meikar achi adkan ksuvin ein etzel b'nei chayrin vein ksuvin ein etzel m'shabbatim. It was given to them by takana only for free and clear assets. Rochina Omar, there's a reason why payros.
But what would happen if there's no free and clear assets? They would be stuck.
Then they don't get. They have to collect
Nothing that
the land. If he has no free and clear, and he had previously sold off land, they have no rights to those pieces of land. It's not they have. That's this din that they only have rights to bnei chayrin and not mishubadim.
The woman getting a royalty over here.
Women and the daughters, being given food from the estate of the deceased.
I understand, but they're getting the raw end of a stick all the time. Okay.
I understand. So here's another reason why it makes sense that they don't get, because lefi she'en ksuvim. We don't know. That means a piece of land that's 4 acres. So you know how to value that. But payros, we don't know how much payros is going to grow, what their value is going to be. The shard changes every couple of months. So his chayvus, that's not k'tsuva. So they could not be misaking that against menuchos mishubadim. The buyers, because when you buy a piece of land, you calculate, okay, there's a lien, how much was the debt? But here the value is not clear. So it's like a technical reason why. It's not because we don't want to give it to them. They technically couldn't create it because for mishubadim you need a kotsu value. You need a value that's clear. Okay. Hiboilu Rav Chanina ksuvim uksuvim boy. Do you need both parameters? You have to know the value and has to be written for mishubadim. So that's another question we'll deal with tomorrow. Okay, so tonight we have the tzorba at 8:30. We're going from shul.